Thanks, Tamas. Hello to everybody. My name is Viktor Krustic. I came from the Telesis company, and I will talking today a little bit about company and a little bit about product portfolio and technology what Telesis offer to us. Telesis is Japanese company. This is listed on Tokyo Exchange stock in the from beginning, and this gentleman is the owner of the company. So this is not so big company, but this 2,100 people working on research and development and manufacturing of networking solutions. So Telesis is networking company, and from the beginning, from very beginning, from early 19 Telesis producing transceiver and network interface cards. So now Telesis is provider of high technology networking. So this picture is better can tell you what Telesis is producing. So this is the unified networking infrastructure from end to end. So if you look at this instead of these few things which is not part of the technology and producing Telesis, so Telesis is producing everything for network infrastructure. So you cannot find camera, servers, and laptops or something like that, or voice over IP solutions, but everything else is under the Telesis producing. So connectivity is very important. This part means Telesis producing network interface card and media converters. So if you need to establish more bandwidth on some servers, or if you have to deploy fiber to the desk, to the infrastructure of networking, you need additional network interface card. That for sure is the optic network interface card, or for servers or something like that, you need additional bandwidth. So you need additional network interface card for server like optics or copper on 1 gigabit or maybe 10 gigabit bandwidth. So connectivity is the part of the producing. Also access level, you can see this is big part of Telesis producing in access level. So in access level, that means Telesis offer switches for connecting in the access area. This can be PoE switches or non-PoE switches, unmanaged, managed, and something like that. But also very interesting and more interesting in these days is internet, industrial Ethernet. So this part is more interesting in this area when we talking about industrial networking, but also when we're talking about special networking like networks for the high road, for the video surveillance, for harsh environment, where we need to put our switches in the outdoor and to expect higher temperature range from minus 40 degrees Celsius to plus 17. So this is characteristic of industrial Ethernet, and Telesis is producing switches and also media converters with industrial characteristics. Also in access area, Telesis is producing Wi-Fi access points. That can be standalone access points or access points with controller in the cloud controller or in the little server on something like that. So behind this, Telesis producing VPN access and firewalls, and also high demand core network like chassis switches or data center switches, etc. So this is the Telesis product portfolio. Switches, routers, in connectivity media converters and network interface card, and industrial Ethernet like one very important part of the producing. Telesis is a group of companies spread all over the world, and this is good when Telesis is creating solutions, because this is the possibility to take different experience from different type of the countries and worlds. Telesis have own R&D centers in Japan, in San Jose, Raleigh, Christchurch, New Zealand, and also in Manila, Philippines. But more important, that Telesis have own manufacturing facilities. This is two manufacturing facilities, one in the China and one in the Singapore, and there is the Japanese staff stationed, because supervision of producing is very important for Telesis. We have very high quality control. This quality control is from controlling components, and after some products packed, after that we also packed products and control and testing everything. Because of that, Telesis have only 0.2% of failed equipment in exploitation of these products. This little Balkan team is now responsible for Telesis operation in this region. We have, let's say, organization, one country manager, one pre-sales engineer, which is me, and several account managers here in the region. This is organization of this Balkan team. This is not so many people, but okay. And I want to show you just this magic quadrant, and let's say we have a little step here from last year, and this is grown by ability to execute and grown in vision competencies. We will see why is that, and I will also let this presentation to ASBIS to send you by the mail, so you can see that also better. And this is also some statistical information where we can see it grow by Telesis port shipped in the last years. What is the value proposition of Telesis? First of all, high quality of products. I told you about this quality control. This is the Japanese product. This is a free 5 years hardware warranty, so every product came to the hands of the customer with 2 years of warranty, and after web registration, every product have a additionally 3 hardware warranty for any product. So 5 years is the warranty from the producers, from the Telesis, for any products. And the premium series of Telesis products have a limited lifetime warranty. This premium series is X series of switches, so all X series of switches have a limited lifetime warranty, which means whenever that product is in producing, and after end of sale announcement, plus 5 years. So this is, let's say, sometimes not less than 10 years. Second is OM cost optimization. Maintenance cost is reduction of 1/5 of legacy system deployment cost, 1/13 of legacy system. Power efficiency, up to 68% less switch power consumption versus competition. So this is very important when we counting a large number of the switches. Fourth, direct support. Highly skilled Telesis engineers provide direct support with technical training and on-site support. We have European technical support, which is free of charge for every products, except for some, let's say, high demand requests. If you have requests to deploy and implement some high technology networks with many things of configuration, this must be covered with some kind of contract. This is the additional cost in the our product portfolio, and this is also for X series switches is sometimes is very good. So this is a 5%, let's say, in, of the cost of the hardware. Telesis also have education program, and this is very interesting. Like other networking vendors, we have certification campus program, and you can go through the certification from technician to professional to the expert, and this is something which have some costs. But Telesis have also free education program, which is in the form of workshops. So we also have a plan to organize these workshops here in the ASBIS offices, and these workshops is free of charge, take about 4 hours per day. Takes 1 day, 4 hours. We collect, organize in the classroom with equipment, and we doing hands-on training these 4 hours. And this is very interesting, because this is good also for Telesis to show you how Telesis switches is, let's say, can be configured, because Telesis switches have operating system which is totally industry standardized. This means if you know to configure Cisco equipment, you will easily configure Telesis equipment, because command line interface is the same. So this is very interesting. One basic VLAN switching workshop is good to start with networking equipment. Sometimes I have last year 300 people only in a few countries, in Bulgaria, in Croatia, in Serbia, and this is very good. Sometimes people who doesn't work with the network anywhere, but wants to see and wants to try to configure some networking. So this is very important. This is very nice for him. So several workshops, basic VLAN switching, LAN security, high resiliency, also wireless networking, how to construct wireless LAN networking. We don't just talking about that and showing a presentation. We sit, connect these access points on the switch, install controller, and after that, in a few minutes, rise the enterprise wireless network. So this is very interesting for people, and we can also organize that here in Budapest for you and for your colleagues also. And this is pictures from these workshops from different countries. This is the Macedonia, this is Belgrade, this is Croatia, etc. So also all of this training will be visible on the online training calendar. You can see whenever you have. Also, we can organize here this certified program in the ASBIS premises, same like workshops, and this is something for you. Let's go fast through the products, technology, and management just to see what Telesis produced. This is picture of the Telesis chassis switch, standalone, stacking switch, etc. But what is the characteristic of this equipment? Telesis is producing Ethernet switches, industrial Ethernet switches, also security appliances. You need also this for the finishing some networking, optical modules, network interface card, wireless, different type of wireless, media converters, and also multi-service carrier access. About positioning, this is a huge amount of switches. So I don't want to go deep in this series of switches to tell you about 1 gigabit, 10 gigabit switches, everything. You can find this also on the website if you need, or you can ask ASBIS or me, or send mail if you're interested by, let's say, a special series of switches. But just have to tell you, Telesis have 3 product lines to be differentiation between the really big portfolio, switching portfolio. So these 3 product lines is Centricom, X series, and industrial Ethernet products. So this is the main differences between that product lines. For Centricom switches, Telesis have a huge series of cost-effective switches for the enterprise application where standard features are sufficient. Also, for project-oriented enterprise application, Telesis produce X series switches, products premium features for demanding enterprise application, and also, as I told you, these X series switches have a lifetime warranty. So same command line we have on all switches, same behavior. Alliedware Plus is the operating system, and this is what is important with this. If you go to the workshops or certification program, you don't need to learn many languages or many types of configuration. Telesis have a wireless product portfolio which is innovated this year, exactly this year, with several different access points, which is now let's say with better price. I can say we producing enterprise equipment, professional enterprise equipment, which is not so cheap, with not so less price than competition. But if we compare with a real, let's say, a leading vendor in the networking portfolio, now we step in the space where is the cost effective with these new access points is on the stage. So this is the AC access points, AC Wave 2 also, with several different characteristics. These characteristics means how many megabits per second you have bandwidth. And also, this all access points is have a possibility to be cloud managed. So we have also controller, which can be in the matter of the hardware piece of equipment. You can put this hardware in the network, or you can install or some virtual server this controller, or you can use controller which is somewhere in the cloud. So this is the same like other vendors configuration. In this solution we have indoor access points and we have also outdoor access points, same like industrial, higher operating range, and also this is the story about technology. Telesis is interesting because when we're talking about Telesis, we're talking about high availability, about because let's say this is something inside Japanese thinking, because they live in the country where earthquake is always, let's say, almost every day they feeling earthquake. Also, our main R&D center, research and development center, is located on the New Zealand in the Christchurch. Maybe you heard about Christchurch last few years, again because of earthquake. So probably this is the very influenced thinking about our engineers to create network which is resilient of some failures, some hardware failures, connection failures. Because of that, this whole technology is connected with this resilience. First of all, we speaking about Virtual Chassis Tech over the 10 years, and this is the very interesting. Now other vendors like Juniper, Cisco and other take that story and take that idea and start to talking about virtual chassis, especially Juniper and probably Cisco will also will talking. Virtual chassis stacking is technology which making from two switch, which is the core of the network, because core of the network is most important part of the network. If you put two switch here, you establish redundancy in the core, so if you lose core, you lose connection between servers and the access, and you lose network. Network doesn't have a sense if you have only live access switches. So because of that, we make a redundancy in the core. Creating core consists of two switches. But this traditional redundancy, which other using rapid per-VLAN spanning tree, sometimes VRP protocol, sometimes protocol to make active standby configuration. So you have one switch in the core, always active, one is always in the standby. So you have to buy two switches for the redundancy, but you're using only one, because protocol like VRP or spanning tree protocol working like that, blocking double links. But with Virtual Chassis Stack, we have possibility to put two switches in the stack, in the hardware stack. This is not unknown technology, and Virtual Chassis Stack protocol making these two switch like one virtual chassis. So now we have two pieces of hardware with possibility to put redundant power supplies in any of these switches, and now because of this protocol we can use link aggregation to the access level. This link aggregation means double bandwidth, and also every server recognize LACP protocol, link aggregation control protocol. This is the standard protocol. So you can put also double links to every server. So every server is connected on one switch, and the other connection can be aggregated. Link aggregation control protocol is standard. Every server can do that. And now we have here 2 gigabit or 20 gigabit instead on only 10 or 1 gigabit bandwidth. And if this switch fails, you have other switch which is live. So this Virtual Chassis Stack is mandatory in probably every new network we creating with our customers. And also many designers of networks using that possibility to creating high reliability in the network. This is Virtual Chassis Stack, and other, you can see this how that working. We have double bandwidth in the possibility of let's say fail one of the switches. We can experience no stop networking. Here you can find how competition try to make something similar like this. I will left you this presentation so you can see that when you have a time. Another technology is also resilience technology when we creating network on the higher, let's say, physical distance. If we try to create campus network or network on the whole city like we have in the Bucharest. Bucharest is covered with optical networking connected in the rings over the Telesis switches, whole Bucharest. So we using optic connection because this is the higher distance, and we using rings to establish let's say reserve links. So if we have lose this part of the network, automatically open this part of network. This is the ring protocol, which is not so, let's say, space technology. Other vendors also have a ring protocol. Telesis have a ring protocol which is recover in less than 50 milliseconds. So that any known application cannot even notice that something happened in the network. So this is very speed EPSR technology. And also some other vendors have their own proprietary protocols, ring protocols, but also Telesis have EPSR ring protocols. And from this year, Telesis realized ITU-T G8032 standard, which is the industry standard, and you can create interoperability between other vendors and Telesis switches. And like some cap on the network, if you have resilience protocol and you create resilient network, you can face with that. You can face with that if you have failed the switch, but everything is work because you create double networks and you can create resilience. You can face with that even notice that something happened on the network. Because of that, if you're creating high availability network, very important is to establish management of the network, to establish visibility of that network. So Telesis invent AMF. We will see now what is the AMF. This protocol is embedded in every switch of Telesis, and this is invented with thinking about simplifies the management of network by automatization some everyday tasks. So what is the everyday tasks? In the regular network, you have to manage changing configuration. Sometimes you have to do backup of configurations. You have sometimes do rolling out firmware upgrade, creating new configuration for new units in the network, and also if some of the switches fails, you have to change with a new piece of device. Telesis have AMF which centralized these all tasks. How? AMF is part of the operating system. So when you establish AMF, you create AMF on one central point of the switch, and after that, when you establish the AMF in the whole network now functioning like one virtual chassis. And you can put one command, for example, to create another VLAN in the network, and with one command, all switches receive that command. Also, this is centralized management. Automatic backup is doing every night in the time when you configure it, but by default this is the 3 a.m. and whole configuration files and whole operating system of every device, every networking device in the network going to memory of this central location, and additionally you can have backup memory. So automatic backup you have every night, you have every morning, full network backup. Why that is important? If some of these switches is failed, you don't need to configure new switch, just to put or to send, if this is the distance location, just send the switch from the stock, unconfigured, and put switch in the network, connect all cables, power on the switch, and after that everything's going automatically. AMF recognize that is the switch on that place and send configuration file, and if operating system is different version, send also operating system to this switch. And you don't touch anything, just sit and wait few minutes, let's say 5 minutes, that is going on. So auto recovery. Also auto provisioning. If you have auto recovery, you can have auto provisioning. You can configure 10 switches and just send on the location, and just send with instruction how to connect on the network. This port on this port, this port on this port, power on, and nothing need to be configured. Everything will be sent from the central AMF location. Auto upgrade. If you have network of 100 switches and you have new release of the software, of the firmware, you have to go to every switch, to send every switch firmware, to reboot every switch, and after that you upgraded that switch. With AMF and auto upgrade, with one command, auto upgrade, rolling upgrade is the command. Rolling update means every switch will take new release software from the memory of the IMF master, and after that, one by one, from the last to the one by one, rebooting and taking new software. And this is rolling upgrade. You don't need to do anything, just one command and waiting, because this is take a time. So this is IMF, which solve many everyday tasks in the life of the network. And also this is possible to create AMF master like part of the existing switch, only with license, and also like AMF master virtual on some virtual server, like virtual machine, like part of the virtual server machine. And also you can put master AMF somewhere in the cloud. So this is the standard situation in these days. Also, this is the possible because AMF is very new technology, and this technology is in development. You can put AMF to control some other third-party products like camera, like machines or something like that, with AMF agent which we put on this device. Also, that is a possibility to some of device take a role of AMF guest with smaller amount of possibility to manage, but again they can be backupped. AMF functioning in the command line interface, but with additional IMF Vista Manager, AMF have visualization. So very few seconds is need to AMF create this discovery of all network and create these links. You need just to put this map behind that and to put these switches on the right place and save this configuration, and you can use AMF like a network management software to visualize this system. Also, this is the several things what AMF can and what other vendors doesn't can. And this can be all from my side. So Virtual Chassis Stack, EPS ring, and Virtual Chassis Stack have several derivation because you can stack switches long distance, you can stack switches on the 10 kilometers to create disaster recovery location, and AMF like top of this, something which is step in the software defined networking with Telesis. So Telesis, when you're thinking about Telesis, you're thinking about high availability network which is resilient on the harsh environment or on the fails in the links or in the hardware. So do you have some question regarding this networking? Or if you don't have now, I'm here, and also you can send question on my mail if you need some additional information. So I hope to see you on some workshops. I don't know when we will organize that, but for sure we will organize that to try some of this technology to see how Telesis can help you to solve some problems. So thank you very much for your time, and we will see.